I'm going to tell you a story that happened in Paris in 1720. Because what happened that day is exactly what you feel today when you look at your bank account and ask yourself, why isn't this money growing? The only difference is that the time and circumstances have changed. May of 1720. People are running through the streets of Paris. But this time, it's not a breadline. This time, everyone is running to get rich. There's a Scottish economist named John Law, a genius, a gambler, a dreamer. He founded the Mississippi Company, and people are literally trampling each other just to get their hands on these shares. Nobles, craftsmen, servants, everyone, all caught in the same trap. A tailor doubles his life savings in just a few months. A postal worker goes to work in the morning and makes a small fortune by noon. One of Paris's poorest neighborhoods transforms into one of Europe's most expensive districts in just a few months. And then, one day, right around noon, everything suddenly stops. The shares collapse, not just falling, vanishing. That tailor? Back in debt. That postal worker? Bankrupt. And thousands of people are asking themselves, how could I have been stupid enough to believe this? But here's the thing, that's not the real tragedy. The vast majority of those people were not stupid. They had simply learned how compound growth works from the wrong side. They learned it from the winning side, not from the building side. And today, exactly 300 years later, you are probably making the same mistake, and you don't even realize it. This video is exactly for that reason. I'm going to explain why compound interest feels like a lie in the beginning. Why, when someone tells you, be patient, the miracle of compound interest will happen, you feel deep down like saying, this is nonsense, and why that feeling is completely rational. And most importantly, why that first $100,000 hurts so much, why it comes so slowly, and why, once you pass it, the rules of the game completely change. Lean back. This is not a lesson. This is a survival story. I want you to picture someone in your mind right now. His name is Mark. He lives in a mid-sized city. He has an average income. One day, he watches a video about financial freedom and decides, I'm going to start saving too. Mark has a large swimming pool in his backyard, but the pool is empty, and Mark wants to fill it. All he has is a thin plastic garden hose. On the first day, he turns the hose on. Water starts flowing. The water goes down, it hits the bottom of the pool, and there, a small layer of water forms. A tiny puddle. In the middle of that massive empty pool, a little pool of water shining under the sun. Mark waits. 1 week, 2 weeks. The hose is running, water is coming, but the pool still looks empty because the water from the thin hose spreads across the enormous surface of the pool, and the sun evaporates some of it. Mark bends down and looks at the water. Is there progress? Yes, but can you see it? No, and that's the exact moment when a thought enters Mark's. This isn't working, and Mark drops the hose. He walks inside. I need to ask you something. Was Mark stupid? No, Mark was acting completely rational. There's no visual proof. There's no feeling. There's no motivation. There's simply no concrete, tangible evidence that the water from that thin hose will actually fill the pool. There's only a theoretical promise. Now, apply this metaphor to your own financial life. Let's say you save $500 from your paycheck every month. Month 1, $500. Month 2, $1,000. Month 3, $1,500. And is that money growing? Yes, technically it is. But does it feel like anything? No, because that $1,500 doesn't set you free. It doesn't let you quit your job. That $1,500 doesn't make fear disappear. It's just a number on a screen, meaningless looking. And that's exactly when the system whispers to you, look, there's a new phone out. Imagine how great it would be if you went on that vacation. Your friends are going to that restaurant, and you think, this money isn't going to save me anyway. I might as well enjoy the moment. That feeling isn't wrong. That feeling is programmed. The financial industry, banks, and large corporate structures, they profit from your financial ignorance. This is not a conspiracy theory. This is a business model. If you reach $100,000, if you truly begin to become independent, from that point on, your decisions are driven not by fear, but by choice. And when a person has the freedom to choose, they become much harder to exploit. That's why the system does everything it can to keep you stuck in the puddle phase, with subscriptions, with credit card offers, with buy now, pay later campaigns, with the lifestyles you see on Instagram, with the new expectations that come along with every raise. But today, we are solving that game. Compound interest is the eighth wonder of the world. Everyone has heard that quote. It's attributed to Einstein. Einstein probably never said it, but that's beside the point. When you look at that chart, what do you feel? The exponential growth curve, nearly flat at the beginning, then at some point shooting straight up. Most people look at that chart and think, great, be patient, eventually I'll shoot straight up too. But nobody says this. You are at the very beginning of that chart, and the beginning is so slow, so painful, so invisible that 90% of people quit before they ever get through the flat part. Let me show you the real numbers. Let's assume a 7% annual return, close to the historical S&P 500 adjusted for inflation. If you start at age 25 and invest $500 every month, 10 years later, at age 35, you have about $82,000. Can that $82,000 free you from your job? No. Maybe you survive a few months. Then it's gone. Here is the great secret of compound interest, the part nobody tells you. Compound interest is not a stepping stone. Compound interest is an avalanche mechanism, and an avalanche only begins when it reaches critical mass. Without that critical mass, you are just collecting snow with your bare hands. And what is that critical mass? Let me tell you what I call the breathing line: $100,000. Below $100,000, everything is manual labor. Everything is personal contribution. This is the period where you work for your money, not the other way around. After $100,000, money starts working for you. Let me make this concrete. 7% of $100,000, $7,000 per year, without you doing a single thing. That's $583 a month, every month, without working. Is that exciting right now? Not yet. But this is now momentum, because now you're both contributing and growing at the same time. That puddle is starting to turn into a small pool, and the hose is still the same hose, but now evaporation can no longer keep up with the incoming water. Mark couldn't see that point because nobody told him. Now let me show you the thresholds beyond $100,000, because the map needs to be complete. $100,000, the breathing line. For the first time, you feel money working for you. You're not free yet, but you can breathe. $250,000, the breaking point. Market volatility no longer affects you because there's a buffer. $500,000, the immunity threshold. At this point, losing your job no longer destroys you financially. You can get through 6 to 12 months comfortably, without stress, without making rash decisions. You no longer make decisions under pressure. $1 million, psychological transformation. You're no longer thinking, do I have enough? You're thinking, how do I use this best? A completely different mental frequency. $2.5 million, the inversion point. At this point, you can live without consuming your capital. Money feeds you, not the other way around. The mathematical basis, a 4% withdrawal rate. 4% of $2.5 million is $100,000 per year. Technical financial freedom. Why do these thresholds matter? Because they eliminate uncertainty. The financial industry tells you to save for retirement, but never tells you how much to save. That's intentional. A vague goal keeps you dependent on the system. A concrete map sets you free. Now I need to talk about the biggest enemy of the puddle phase. And this enemy doesn't come from the outside. This enemy loves you. It wants to help you. This enemy, a raise. Unexpected, right? You're 25 years old. You make $3,000 a month. You've learned to live on $1,500. $1,500 goes to investment. Then you get promoted. Your salary goes up to $4,500. And now what happens? New apartment, better neighborhood, because you can